Let's give our praises to the Most High, whose true name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in the ancient Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, our Lord and Savior, and the Holy Spirit, which in the ancient Hebrew is the Rakak Wadash. That were understood the elders of GMS, who taught us his truth by the Holy Spirit, understood the brothers, risking their life and freedom to push the gospel, peace and blessings to the elect, who consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, who make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel. According to scripture and prophecy, the elect would be 1/3 of those Israelites who in the last days are returning back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for salvation, while the 2/3 of Israel who don't seek the Lord in time be destroyed with America. So we back with another lesson through the mercy and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Lesson is going to be titled A Small Glimpse of the Peace the Earth would experience when Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is judged. Or I might put removed, or I might put destroyed. A small glimpse of peace the earth would experience when Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is destroyed. Alright, so we know by now Esau Edom is the so-called white man, and we know, according to Obadiah, but really the whole book, this would be the man in power at the Lord's return. And this would be the kingdom, the white man's kingdom, that Yahweh Shah is coming to visit and destroy off the face of the earth. And over there in Iran, something happened. As we know, beginning stages of World War III, America and Iran are in a direct war. And Iran destroyed pretty much all the U.S. military bases over there, the major ones. And it's funny that once they destroyed these U.S. military bases, a miracle happened in Iran that hasn't happened in decades. And what's that miracle? It started raining. So that's a small glimpse of the peace that the earth is going to experience. When you remove Esau Edom, the so-called white man, when you remove his military bases, when you remove his technology and his weapon and his influence, the earth goes back to normal. Normal functioning is restored to the earth. The sun starts shining, rain start falling, plants start growing, life begin to flourish and prosper. And them ain't our people, but it was a beautiful thing to see. You know, because the basic necessities for life, Esau even took that from us. Water was free. He found the way to contaminate the water and make you pay for clean water. The air is free. He found a way to pollute the air with chemtrails and other carcinogens, and the nigga charge you for an air filter, and you gotta buy clean air. You gotta have ventilation. You know, the nigga destroyed the ecosystem in the dirt, and to grow food, you gotta go buy soil. So it's beautiful to see them Iranians, get rain. They was happy about it. It's just beautiful to see the earth in order, things working as they should. But we gonna get this in 2 Thessalonians 2:8. Then we gonna get these videos. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. And the wicked is not whoever you apply it to. Capital W, which will make it a pronoun, meaning it's a specific group of people. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him, that wicked, this him, then you know it's not the devil and Satan on the ground somewhere. No, this is a man, a nation of people in the earth. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders. So, let's get to these videos. And you see the first one. Iran was in drought for decades. And right after destroying a U.S. base, it suddenly starts raining like never before. So let's check this out.
Embassy in Kabul posted a strange tweet. They say in it, after Iran destroyed the secret center for cloud seeding and weather manipulation in the United Arab Emirates, everything changed overnight. And with the end of the secret center, the region's weather map flipped completely. So it's raining so much, their reservoirs were down to 1%. They were thinking they would have to move people out of Tehran, a city of 9 or 10 million people. They were going to move everybody because they had no water. But now we opened the gates of Iraq's largest dam due to 100% capacity. The dam hasn't reached 100% capacity in years. Underground water sources have started to overflow, and this is what it looks like.
And not raining in the sense that it's flooding, but the earth is being restored to normal working condition. Enough rain so that the ecosystems can do what it's supposed to do. Restoring life for the people and the wildlife. Because I never seen anything green over there in Iran or any water. And who's to blame? The wicked Esau, Edom, the so-called white man.
That's what it looks like now in Iran.
That's beautiful.
Water everywhere. Water coming up from under the ground. And here, Iran destroyed American. So when Iran hit, they say they destroyed their weather modification plants, right? When Iran was hitting all the Gulf states because we had bases there. And then they also took out their weather modification. This is what the reporting is, right? So nobody can confirm this for sure, but this is certainly what it looks like, and especially after Iran Kabul tweeted that out. Here's what Tucker Carlson and our good friend Dane Whittington had to say about it.
And Tucker, they're being used as a form of warfare. And we know that. We have countries like Iran.
I got this in a better quality video. So I'm gonna get that one right now. Damn, that's not what I want to do. That's not it either. All right, there we go. Just so we can see this water flowing. And then right here, Iran destroyed American radars in the region. Increased rainfall. Dams are overflowing after 7 years.
And Tucker, they're being used as a form of warfare. And we know that. We have countries like Iran, constantly demonized, of course, as you well know. Immediately after 9/11, we have the list of countries to be targeted given to General Wesley Clark, a list that clearly existed before 9/11 even occurred. Subsequently, every one of those countries, every one of them, endured a once in 1,000 year drought. Statistically, mathematically, that's impossible without climate intervention operations. And we have the leader of Iran on the floor of the UN, on film, on the record, stating NATO was cutting off their precipitation. We have Iranian top scientists recently stating NATO's been doing this for 40 years.
Imagine that. You having your precipitation and rainfall cut off for 40 years. And they say, the drought that Iran and that region of the world have been experiencing has been once in 1,000 year period. Pretty much saying it's impossible.
The food supply by destabilizing the rain, and you destabilize the population.
So he said you destabilize the rain, you destabilize the food, you destabilize the population. But what it really is, when you cut off the rain, you cut off the food, you kill the people. See, them words like destabilize is supposed to not make the reality sound so harsh. But in reality, you killing the people when you cut off the rainfall.
Constantly demonized, of course, is...
So, here's another video. Shocking shift in the Middle East, new rains, flowing rivers, and changing skies in Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Turkey, and beyond. Coincidence or climate warfare? And it's been climate warfare. But check out this video. It's beautiful to see the earth do what it's supposed to do. Here goes another one. It says world for peace. It's funny, when AI some years ago was asked, how do you restore peace to the earth? It said you got to get rid of Esau, the so-called white man. World for peace. For 15 years in Turkey, 50 years in Iran, 25 years in Iraq. So that's how long they've been having this drought. Almost no rain. It says dams are finally filling up. Yeah, in the first video, he said dams are at 100% capacity. You know, reservoirs are being filled up. They thought they was gonna have to move the people out the city. But look what happened when the U.S. military bases was destroyed. The Euphrates and Tigris rivers are overflowing. Lakes dried up from drought are coming back to life. Vanished wildlife is returning. So if wildlife is returning, that means the earth is being restored. Reason: the U.S. radar base destroyed by Iran. So you got Turkey, Iraq, this is Tehran over here, and somewhere else in that region. But it's beautiful to see. Now, this is the last Instagram, then we got a YouTube video, and I'm going to read the caption first. After U.S. radars in the region were destroyed by Iran, rainfall suddenly increased according to claims. It is believed that the U.S. is trying to restrict rain through various methods. We have been following this claim for a while, and for the past few days, rain has been falling back to back. Meanwhile, Iranians are filling the streets without paying attention to the rain and continue their resistance. So they standing in the street celebrating the rainfall. So this is a small glimpse of the peace that the earth is going to experience after Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is destroyed from the earth. And even in the scriptures say it's going to be so. So about this next video, we're going to watch probably like 6 or 7 minutes of it. Check this out.
Iran was almost made uninhabitable by drought, and the drought was engineered in part by U.S. radar systems that were blasting energy to ionize the atmosphere to steer clouds away from Iran and to actually cause a drought. It's just classic geoengineering, multiple ways to achieve this. But what has happened is that since those large radar installations around the Persian Gulf have been destroyed by Iranian drones, the rains have returned.
Remember what Zbigniew Brzezinski said, who was the advisor to Jimmy Carter. He started the Trilateral Commission. He's the father of Mika Brzezinski on Morning Joe Ball. And
big news, I think is how you pronounce it. It's big news, Brzezinski.
he said technology will make available to the leaders of major nations techniques for conducting secret warfare, of which only a bare minimum of the security forces need be appraised. Techniques of weather modification could be employed to produce prolonged periods of drought or storm. Well, son of a gun, we've got evidence that that's exactly what they've been doing in Iran. Iranian expert accuses U.S. Israel of weather manipulation to deepen the drought. An Iranian water resource specialist has accused the United States and Israel of manipulating regional weather patterns to intensify Iran's severe drought. According to the Middle Eastern Media Research Institute, they claimed in a July 30th interview on the Iranian YouTube channel that both nations had been deliberately diverting clouds away from Iran for over 4 decades.
Well, that's a violation of the treaty not to do that, Jimmy.
That is. There's a
So over 40 years, little to no rain.
international treaty that was signed in the 70s that made it illegal, or they all agreed to not use weather modification.
Because we did it in Vietnam, too.
Because we did it in Vietnam.
And that would be a crime against humanity. It's certain methods of warfare, certain things you're not supposed to do because it's considered, crimes against humanity.
Iran's rain clouds aren't being stolen, but its drought is worsening. So the establishment media comes out, immediately tries to make you think that's wrong, that's not happening, because that's what the establishment media does.
Is Iran being forced to use their plague of bees weapon on Israel in retaliation?
Iran's embassy in Kabul posted a strange tweet. They say in it, after Iran destroyed the secret center for cloud seeding and weather manipulation in the United Arab Emirates, everything changed overnight. And with the end of the secret center, the region's weather map flipped completely. So it's raining so much, their reservoirs were down to 1%. They were thinking they would have to move people out of Tehran. A city of 9 or 10 million people, they were going to move everybody because they had no water. But now we opened the gates of Iraq's largest dam due to 100% capacity. The dam hasn't reached 100% capacity in years. Underground water sources have started to overflow, and this is what it looks like. That's what it looks like now in Iran. Water everywhere. Water coming up from under the ground. And here, Iran destroyed American. So when Iran hit, they say they destroyed their weather modification plants, right? When Iran was hitting all the Gulf states because we had bases there. And then they also took out their weather modification. This is what the reporting is, right? So I can't, nobody can.
We watched some of this video already, but we're going to jump forward a little bit.
Iranian top scientists recently saying NATO's been doing this for 40 years. Destabilize the food supply by destabilizing the rain, and you destabilize the population.
Here's more from Dane.
I'm saying that we know the technology exists to steer storms of that size. So why would we think they're not using these type of operations? We have historical precedent. Project Popeye in Vietnam was so successful at controlling precipitation. By 1976, they passed the INMOD treaties forbidding weather manipulation for wartime purposes, but not over a country's own population. The Chinese government has long since openly stated they were engineering snowstorms with endothermic reacting elements. These are patented elements that can literally transition a rain event into snow.
And if
Damn it.
44.
And if you want to hear testimony in Congress, this is real. This is from C-SPAN. Here's testimony in Congress.
Thank you, Senator. The Air Force has gotten great value out of HARP in the past. We took over from the
So he's talking about HARP. That's the program to do weather modification and shoot energy into the ionosphere.
We managed it and actually did a number of experiment campaigns up there and have finished our work that we were interested in doing up there. We've moving on to other ways of managing the ionosphere, which the HARP was really designed to do, was to inject energy into the ionosphere to be able to actually control it. And but that work has been completed.
Yes, sir. Another question on the.
So there you go.
All right, that's enough. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show. Now we're gonna get the scriptures, but we're gonna get this again, 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. The wicked is being revealed every day. If you don't see or you're not convinced yet, then oh well. Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. And we know Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, hold on. We're going to hit 14 and 14 real quick. It say what? I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. That space travel, I will be like the Most High. So Esau the white man is trying to make himself like the Almighty and the All-Powerful. That's why it says even him, that wicked, whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. What are some of those wonders? Space travel. He can make fire fall from heaven, the nuclear missiles, like he did to Hiroshima, Nagasaki. He can create life, artificial intelligence. He can control the weather by weather manipulation. He can create drought, create storm. Word out there, they got weapons that can cause earthquakes. He can heal the blind. He can help people speak who lost their voice. He can heal people that are paralyzed through a microchip. That's them signs and lying wonders. But when we continue here, John 10 and 10, it says, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, that they might have it more abundantly. So this ain't the devil and Satan when you read John 10 and 10. I ain't seen Satan steal nothing yet. I ain't seen Satan kill nobody yet. But what I do is see Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, going all over the earth, stealing resources, stealing peace, killing people, starting wars, and trying to destroy civilizations, trying to destroy creation. But yeah, this thief, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Now, let's jump here. Yeah, because ask a Christian, okay, what's being stolen? You know, they can't really give you a direct answer, but we can. What he's stealing is not just resources, your freedom, your hope, salvation, knowledge and understanding, identities. He's stealing lands, he's stealing people, he's stealing rain, he's stealing air, food, he's stealing peace. So what he's taking is peace from the earth, and to kill through wars and secret wars. They mentioned that one of these videos, that weather modification can be a form of secret warfare and to destroy. Because we know recently Trump said he's going to destroy the entire civilization of Iran. So destroy civilizations, destroy creation itself. And that's all done by the hand of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. But we're going to prove it further. Excuse me. But again, it says, the thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and destroy. So he's stealing peace by stealing rain to cut off the food supply so that what? People die, dehydration, starvation, to destroy these countries. In Revelation 6 and 4, it says there went out another horse, and the horse represents power, rulership. It says that was red, and we know Genesis 25 say what? And the first was red all over, and his name was Esau. So this red is dealing with Esau, and power was given to him that sat thereon. So power over the nations, pretty much to be in rulership, and we're gonna show that real quick. This is Revelation, I believe, 13:7. Okay, yeah. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. So Job 9:24 also say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So power that was given him was to be in power. To be in power, the authority, to be the top nation in the earth. And power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. What's another word for take? To steal. And what it say? John 10:10, the thief cometh not before to steal, kill, and destroy. So what's being stolen from the earth? He's taking peace from the earth. And that they should kill one another. What John 10:10 say? The thief cometh not before to steal and to kill. How is he causing people to kill each other? Through war. There's always a war going on somewhere. And by his sword. That's why it goes on to say, and there was given unto him a great sword. So not just a war, not just a sword, meaning a weapon of war, can he kill people, but he don't weaponize the food supply, weaponize the air, the water, weaponize music, weaponize people. He got the man and the woman against each other. What's the result of that? Death. Because now the man and the woman ain't producing, life like they should. Because the Lord did say, be fruitful and multiply. He introduced LGBTQT and then feminism. And what's the result of that? Death. Because ain't no new life being produced. And that's all part of the sword. Feminism, part of that sword. All right, so we're going to look up some words real quick. Because again, it says, power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Now, let's look at this word, peace. We're going to really open that word up. G1515. It says national tranquility. Let's look up this word, tranquility. The quality or state of being tranquil, calm. Let's look up the word tranquil, because I thought I had saw something. Look at this, free from disturbance. And what this nigga Esau done disturbed? The rainfall. Disturbing the food supply. Look at this word tranquil. Peaceful, restful, relaxing, undisturbed. Esau going all over the earth, disturbing life, disturbing peace. But what's national tranquility when entire nations of people are at rest? Entire nations of people got peace. Now, remember them feed the hungry commercials. Nigga all over there in the East showing hungry people. Talking about if you donate so much money, it'll give them so much food and water. Well, first question, how that many people over there end up with no food or water? It's probably Esau, the goddamn white man, interrupted their rainfall. Put them in a drought. The food dried up. The water dried up. The wildlife migrated. Well, that's why they ain't got no damn food. The nigga create the problem, and then he comes with a solution. Talking about give him the money, and he's gonna give it to them. Nigga, a damn criminal. And that's the thing. Again, like I say, he contaminates the water. Now you gotta pay for clean water and filter water. He dirties up the air with carcinogens and pollutants. Now you gotta check the air quality index on your phone before you go out there. You gotta buy ventilations and air filters. You know, he creates diseases and he sells you a medicine. The nigga perpetuates crime, and you gotta pay for an alarm system and burglar bar doors. It goes on to say, for peace, exempt from rage and havoc of war. And that's what Gaza is. It's havoc of war. And what Gaza look like? The opposite of national tranquility. That's what he's taking from the earth. Peace don't just mean the earth is free of crime and nobody's fighting. Even if you had that today, nobody fighting and no crime, you still got tired nations and countries of people starving, going without food, going without water. Peace between individuals, harmony, he's taking that from the earth. Because how is it that everywhere else in the world, you got neighbors at war with one another? Russia and Ukraine at war, they neighbors. China and Taiwan been at war, they neighbors. India, Pakistan, enemies with their neighbors. North Korea, South Korea, beefing with their neighbors. That's the peace that Esau the white man has taken from the earth. Security, safety, prosperity. Let's look up this word prosperity. The state of being prosperous. Let's look up some of the word for prosperity. Wealth, success. Riches, the good life. If you ain't getting no rainfall, that's not a good life. Because when the rainfall goes, the vegetation goes away. Wildlife and cattle, that dies off. Now there's no food. The people die. The civilization collapse, is destroyed. Fortune, ease, plenty. So part of having peace and being prosperous is having plenty, including plenty of water, plenty of rainfall. Crazy how when you remove that ingredient, the rainfall, everything else goes with it. Welfare, comfort, well-being, luxury. That's all taken away when you cut off the rainfall. And that's just one small example of what he's done to the earth and to the people. A bed of roses. This is a figure of speech, but you ain't got no flowers and no roses growing if you cut off the rainfall. Prosperousness, successfulness. And that's why a lot of these countries in poverty. Because not only does Esau the white man put heavy sanctions and tariffs on them, then steal their resources, but he cut off the rain supply. Or, excuse me, he cut off the rainfall. Now they ain't producing no food. They ain't got nothing to sell. Everything got to be imported with heavy taxes. Let's see what else we see for peace. We're going to look up this word safety, security. Which one? The state of being free from danger or threat. If you ain't getting no rainfall, you in danger of a famine. You in danger of dehydration. You in danger of dying from pestilence and disease if you can't clean up properly. Other words for safety, it says protecting, shielding, guarding, and care. You could throw healthcare in there. But actually, let's look up this word safety. This might be what I'm looking for. Welfare, well-being, protection. But yeah, when it says he would take peace from the earth, that's on all levels. Peace, safety, tranquility, the nation's prospering, your health, your peace of mind. You got a thing called mental illness now. The animals are sick. Animals got mental illness. Animals got obesity. That's a piece he's taking away from the earth. He destroyed the food supply, but didn't give you processed foods. Organic foods can't grow no more. You gotta grow GMO foods. That's the peace he's taking away from the earth. And then when you get this in the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 34 and 21, the bread of the needy is their life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. That bread can be money. That's why people say I'm getting this bread. Bread could be whatever sustains your life. Whatever resource or currency you have that you use to take care of yourself. The bread of the needy is their life. And he that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. And when you take away a man's resource or whatever money he got, whatever he uses to take care of himself, you a man of blood. That's like you killing him. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him. And he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. So when you take away the basic necessities of life from the people, that's the same as killing them. You a murderer and a bloodshedder. That's why John 10 and 10 say, the thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and destroy. Because stealing leads to death. When you steal peace, when you cut off the rainfall, you steal resources, you put heavy sanctions and tariffs on people, you steal oil tankers, you're killing them people. Because how they gonna eat? What they gonna provide for themselves with? You put Cuba, I believe, entire island in a blackout. To do what? To destroy those civilizations. Why? Because you a bloodshedder, you a man of death. And his goal is to destroy creation. Because in Genesis, each day when the Lord created something, it'll say, and the Lord said, it was good. It was good, meaning everything was working in harmony with one another. What's Esau's goal? To break up that harmony. Back to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed? Verse 9, even him who is coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. So with the power that was given him through his science and technology, his wonders is to disrupt, how was it worded? To disrupt the course of nature. Everything that the Lord created that would be in harmony with one another, Esau want to disrupt it. So again, he that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him. So Esau got the blood of billions of people on his hand. Because if he not killing them through weapons of war, he's doing secret warfare, weather modification. Cutting off the rain, cutting off the water and the food supply, that's a war strategy. And that's what he's done. That's why he's a bloodshedder. And then Habakkuk 2 and 5, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. When you read Revelation 17, that wine is her abominations, her wickedness that she spread across the earth, feminism, LGBTQ, idol worship, etc., etc. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. He is as death, he that bloodshedder, and cannot be satisfied. That's what it means, he enlargeth his desire as hell. He gotta have it all. And even when he got it all, he's still not satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. What's the point here? He is as death, neither keepeth at home. So everywhere he go, death follows. Now we're gonna look up something in the Hebrew. Neither keepeth at home. We're going to look at this in the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, I believe. H5115. Yep, here we go. So look at this. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. to sit down to rest. The nigga never at rest. He is a proud man and does not rest, meaning he up causing trouble everywhere he go. It says, but seeks disturbances and wars. Disturbances and wars. So, what did he do? He disturbed the rainfall over there. You know, cutting off the rainfall to cut off the food supply. Disturbances and wars. He caused riots in these other countries, civil wars, try to overthrow these people governments, put military bases in the region. And then you think it's for your protection. This nigga got radar systems over there to modify the weather. It says, but seeks disturbances and wars. That's what he do. Epstein Island, children and women going missing. But yeah, he's a man of death. He's a proud man, does not rest, but seeks disturbances and wars. Let's look up this word disturbances. The interruption of a settled and peaceful condition. What Revelation 6 and 4 say, there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So when it says he seeks disturbances, he seeks disturbances and wars, meaning he interrupts peaceful conditions. And rainfall is a key ingredient for peace, not only for people, but for the wildlife, for the earth itself. And the nigga just had to go interrupt the rainfall. Because who even thinks to do that? That's why the scriptures say the inward thought of them in the heart is very deep. That's a wickedness only somebody like him could have thought of. And then we're going to get this in the book of Isaiah 14 and 5. The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked. So the wicked will be revealed because the Lord is going to judge them. So before the Lord judges the wicked, they're going to be revealed. And now we see the Lord is breaking their staff. That's why they got all the military bases destroyed. All the missile defense systems destroyed. Navy destroyers, battleships destroyed. Fighter jets destroyed. That's the Lord breaking the staff of the wicked. Because how did Esau stay in power for so long? By the sword. Being able to project power abroad, meaning exert dominance all over the earth. Put people in fear all over the earth. That's why the book of Ezekiel say, the Lord have broken the arm of Pharaoh, that it won't be bound up to hold the sword. The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. So the thing that helped them stay in power is the Lord is removing that. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. So yeah, he smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, meaning he violently oppressed the people non-stop. Continue something that's non-stop, long continuance. That's why it said Iran went with little to no rain for 40 to 50 years. That's an example of that. Certain countries, heavy tariffs and sanctions for decades. Certain countries going decades not being able to produce no food. Cuba, weeks, months without oil, without power. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted. And that's what's happening to him. The people who say they're Jews and are not, that's why Israel look like Gaza. They're being persecuted. America's next. But America is going to fall internally before it's destroyed from the outside. But the point is, it's being persecuted and none hindereth. Nobody gonna come to the rescue. No, nobody, and nobody is gonna try to stop what's happening to Israel and to America. The whole earth is at rest. This ultimately after the nuclear destruction, after Esau, Edom, so-called white man is destroyed, the kingdom of heaven is established in the earth under Yahweh Shai and ran by the 144,000 who are Israelites. The whole earth is at rest. Another word for rest will be peace, tranquil, prosperity, luxury. And this is a small example where we see with the rainfall coming to Iran. There's a small glimpse of that rest, a small glimpse of that peace. Out there standing in the rain, celebrating, clapping, dancing. The whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. That's what they doing on the screen. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee. Trees represent the nations of people. And the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down. Who's going to be laid down? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. So after Esau, Edom, the white man is destroyed, he's gonna never oppress the people of the earth ever again. After Esau, Edom, the white man is cut off, there's gonna be no more war started, no more oppression, no more secret warfare. All they shall speak. Let me get verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Hell is a condition. He been putting the nations of people through hell, especially the Israelites. And what it say? Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Now, he's about to be put in hell. Hell is a low condition. Slavery, being at the bottom. What he put everybody else through. It stirreth up the dead for thee, that's the other nations, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up their thrones, all the kings of the nations. That's why it says the whole earth shall rise up against him. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? And we seeing that now. Everybody thought America was invisible. That's why Revelation 13 say, who can make war with the beast? But Iran exposed them. Why? Because the Lord will raise up the army of great nations to come up against Babylon. Art thou become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So Iran exposed America to show that these are regular men. They bleed, they die, they make mistakes, miscalculations. They not invisible. Because what's Esau's goal? To be like the Most High. To try to convince the people that he's the all-powerful and almighty through signs and wonders. But that's why I say, art thou become as weak as we? Now everybody looking at America like, damn, you're not tough as we thought. Art thou become like unto us? So everybody see America is human, just like them. 16 and 17. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? How did he make the earth to tremble? Wars, airstrikes, dropping bombs on people, nuclear weapons. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? You thought it was the devil and Satan. All this time it's been Esau, Edom, the white man, that made the world as a wilderness. Look at Gaza. One of the definitions for peace, it says to be exempt from havoc of war. What's Gaza? A havoc of war. What was Hiroshima, Nagasaki? A havoc of war. That made the world as a wilderness. And not only Gaza and other places that was destroyed through war, but what about all the places that's experienced decades of extreme drought? Because he done cut off the rainfall by manipulating the weather and the cloud patterns. So what he's done all over the earth is turned the world into a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, airstrikes, Gaza. that opened not the house of his prisoners, kept us oppressed. That's why they're going to try to put that microchip in us. That's a way of keeping us in slavery. But yeah, it's just the man that made the earth to tremble. That's part of the wicked being revealed. Everybody finally realizing, like, Esau the white man, he's the source of all the problems in the earth. He's the biggest threat to world peace. And AI said that some years ago. Elders of GMS been telling it since the 60s and 70s. But now the whole world's starting to see it. Well, a lot of the world's starting to see it. And then when we go here, this is the book of Ezekiel. Matter of fact, let me go back up to 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. That's what Orion is experiencing on the screen. Rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. What brung that rest? What brung that peace? The rainfall. Then when you get this in the book of Ezekiel 35 and 14, which I think I'm going to get this in the NLT. In the NLT, it say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. The whole world will rejoice when I make you desolate. So the whole earth is going to rejoice at the destruction of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Sort of what you see on the screen here. Yeah, thus says the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, when the whole earth rejoices, I will make you desolate. And that's the beginning of what we see. That's why Israel is starting to look like Gaza. And this is the book of Psalms 10 and 16. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. And what is his land? The Holy Lands. That's why it's starting to look like Gaza. The heathen, those who say they're Jews and are not, by the synagogue of Satan, they being destroyed out of that land. But not just Israel, but the whole earth, because the whole earth is the Lord's, with Israel being his favorite. But the wicked going to be destroyed out of the earth entirely. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. That's the prayers of the elect. Thou will prepare their heart, that will cause thine ear to hear. It says to judge the fatherless and oppressed, meaning to bring justice, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. That's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That the man of the earth, the man of sin, the wicked, will no more oppress. No more oppress the Israelites. No more oppress the other people. No more oppress the wildlife and the earth. Here's the book of Isaiah. It say even the trees gonna rejoice. We know trees can represent nations of people, but the trees are alive too. They don't think that the trees not complaining to what Esau the white man is doing to the earth, to judge the fatherless and oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. I guess I'm gonna get this last one. This is the book of Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, that's the elect, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And that's Esau, Edom, so-called white man, whose goal is to do what? To take peace from the earth, to steal, kill, and destroy. So this is a small glimpse of the peace that the earth is going to experience. A small glimpse. So I thought that was pretty amazing, seeing the earth return to normal functioning somewhat in certain parts of the earth when Esau the white man and his influence is removed, showing that he's the source of all the problems, that he's the cancer to the earth. Matter of fact, I'm going to get this. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, verse 10. The physician cutteth off a long disease. He that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. And that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. His kingdom, the Lord about to destroy it. He's the disease to the earth. And what disease do? It disrupts normal bodily function. And that normal bodily function, in the case of the earth, would be the rainfall. He disrupted that. So though it wasn't as informative, edifying till next time. Shalom.